judge has ordered former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort to be transferred to a detention center facility that is closer to where he'll go on trial later this month. Right now, he's in this cushy unit in a jail that's about 2 hours away from where he is standing trial. So there, he's getting privileges other inmates do not enjoy. I mean, look at this. He's got a private shower, private living unit, personal phone. He's able to make phone calls, send emails. He's got a workspace where he can prepare for his trial, even a laptop with an extension cord that he uses inside his room. He's not even required to wear a prison uniform. So let's talk to somebody who knows a little bit about this. Larry Levine, he is a former federal inmate. He is now the director and the founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants. To talk a little bit of context of, is this really club fed, as he's calling it? I mean, Manafort himself said he's getting the VIP treatment where he is now. What do you make of it?
Well, he's never been in any other correctional facility, so he's really not a good judge as far as what VIP treatment is. And is that club fed? He can't go outside. He's not socializing with other inmates. There's no activities. He's in a pre-trial detention type of setting. Remember that they have an obligation to protect him. He's high profile. They don't want anything to happen to the guy. And they need to keep him away from other inmates. Now imagine, he's got, what, 2 million pages of discovery he had to go through. He needs to have electronic communications. I remember when I was in custody, there were big cases going on. They're not physically giving him these as hard copy documents. They're coming in on flash drives, on, well, I don't know, discs anymore, but he's getting them electronically, so he needs that. And just imagine the logistical nightmare if they had to move him back and forth out of his housing unit to meet with lawyers, to use the telephone. This is a little self-contained unit they have him in, and it's really not for his convenience. More likely, this is for the institution's convenience, manpower, expenses, and such. And I don't see, you know, I read up on this. I don't see anything out of the ordinary with his telephone use. He's paying about $5.70 for a 15-minute call if it's within Virginia. If he calls back to D.C. or New York, he's paying $3.15. The calls are 15 minutes long. That tells me they're using Securus, which is the phone provider at this institution. When he hits federal custody, he'll only get a real federal institution. You only get 300 minutes a month, November, December. You get 400 minutes. In a county jail type setting he's in, they give you unlimited calls because the institution makes a ton of money off these.
So basically you're saying what's happening to Paul Manafort would happen to anyone who would be in for what he's in for. And that's why we do want to point out, it's important to note, this is not someone who's been convicted of a crime. He is awaiting his trial. Would this be the case for anyone being processed while they await their trial?
Well, let's just say that in a normal housing unit, I've never been to Northern Neck. This is a regional jail. So what a bunch of counties do, it costs a lot of money to run a jail. A bunch of counties get together and they form a regional jail. In this case, you have 4 counties in Virginia plus some township that started this jail. Now, a housing unit, a pod, because it's dormitory style living there, has between, let's say, 25 and 50 inmates. They all live in with bunk beds and such. They have showers in the housing unit. They have telephones in the housing unit. They would have all these facilities there other than possibly the email, the computer access. And he doesn't have internet access while he's there. The whole purpose of him having that laptop is to review his legal documents. I suspect, because I read up, you know, well, what kind of unit is he being housed in? That is probably a little dormitory room because they have staff members that work certain shifts and sleep there. I bet you that's a staff housing unit with all the amenities they have. And just for security's sake and convenience, that's where they decided to park him. So but if he hits this other jail in Alexandria, he's going to be in for a world of change.
Yeah, that's why his lawyers are saying, listen, we changed our mind. That might not be so safe for him. So this is something we're going to watch as to whether or not he even makes it there.
Well, he will. Here's why he will. when you take someone to court, let's say it's a 2-hour drive between where he's at now, Northern Neck, and over to D.C. or the Alexandria Federal Court.
5 hours round trip. That's obviously a tremendous amount of time.
Yes, it's more than that. It's not like, first of all, he's in U.S. Marshals custody. This guy's property of the U.S. Marshals Service. It's not like the marshals just show up at the prison. Okay, do you have Paul ready to go? Let's go. They have to check him out of the jail. There's certain security protocols they must go through. That takes time. Could take an hour or so. They got to move him back over to Alexandria. He goes and does whatever. Then they've got to bring him back. Then they have to check him back in. So the whole and you know, they got to book him back into the jail.
Well, and all of this valuable time. Time is money. Larry Levine, thank you so much for being with us. We do appreciate your perspective on this. Thanks so much.
Certainly.